coming up from the Northeast Live studios in Guwahati. Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. I would like to begin by wishing Merry Christmas to all the viewers of Northeast Live all across the Northeast and beyond. After high drama today in the BTC legislature premises in Kokrajhar, the UPPL BJP GSP combine won the floor test and has thereby managed to prove its majority as directed by the Guwahati High Court. The decks are now clear for CEM Pramod Boro to lead the Bodo Council and try to fulfill all the promises he and his team made during the campaign. The foremost promise, of course, was to implement the latest Bodo Accord signed in January this year in letter and spirit, besides creating employment opportunities for local youths. The big question is whether the opposition Bodo People's Front will allow the ruling alliance to function smoothly and whether attempts at horse trading will now come to an end. On his part, UPPL leader Pramod Boro has struck a conciliatory note by saying that he and his team would expect cooperation from BPF chief Hagrama Mohilari and his party colleagues in running the council administration during the next 5 years. The big question now is whether the UPPL, BJP, GSP combined will contest the forthcoming assembly elections jointly or on their own as separate entities. To discuss the issue, I am joined from Kokrajhar by UPPL Secretary Raju Narzary. Also in Kokrajhar, I have K. Wari, Assistant General Secretary of the All Bodo Students Union. In Guwahati, I have Assam BJP Vice President, not in Guwahati, sorry, he's joining Swapnanil Baruah, Assam BJP Vice President, joining me from Tejpur. Senior Congress leader Dwijen Sharma is with me in Guwahati, and joining also is Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, professor at Guwahati University and a leading political analyst. Before we begin the discussion, let's listen in to what BTC CEM Pramod Boro has to say now that he has won the trust vote. Let's go straight to Mr. Pramod Boro. He has won the trust vote today. Mr. Pramod Boro, congratulations, you have won the trust vote. Now you are set to work for the development and progress of the Bodo heartland.
The alliance today win the trust vote, and we are formally going to start our government activity, and already some of our executive member, chief deputy chief, swear in before also, and today it's already done. And after boarding, we will start our various activity in BTC Secretariat and in entire 4 district of the BTR region.
All right, Mr. Pramod Boro, what do you expect now? You said today that it was very undemocratic, the way the BPF behaved. You said that the 3-time legislators of the Bodo People's Party, they behaved in a very undemocratic manner, and you were a little surprised. What do we expect from the BPF in the next 5 years?
Actually, in last 17 years, there was no opposition party in council, and even the opposition, they are in small number. They didn't provide any kind of, the democratic space to these opposition leaders, and this character they have shown today, it's very much undemocratic. So it is very unfortunate in the country like India, which is the highest democratic country in the world. So our main duty, I think, is to protect the democratic values in our region, and also to ensure good governance and all-round development for all communities living in BTR region.
Okay, absolutely. But Mr. Pramod Boro, you know, whenever people elect somebody during an election, they expect results. The time for politics, I'm sure you will agree, is now over. Now you have to work for the development of your people and the Bodo territorial region as a whole. How do you plan to proceed? What is your roadmap?
We have planning already. We have planned what to do in days to come, and we'll have our council within 2-3 days after boarding, and then we'll plan. Already we have lots of planning for development of the people of different section. It's for economic development, education development, and ensure peace and tranquility in our region, and also to provide the security of to all section of people. So we have lots of plan already. We have in our this election manifesto, and we will implement it one by one.
Right, right. Now, what will be your focus areas? Will it be employment for Bodo youths as promised during your election campaign?
Yes, it is not for only Bodo youths. It's youths of entire BTR region. We are going to generate employment, and also we are going to properly implement whatever schemes come from Government of India and Government of Assam. Our spirit is to implement all the schemes in proper way, and also we'll have new policy and new schemes in our BTR government, and it will be based on the present scenario of economic, education, and the development scenario. So we have lots of plan, and accordingly we'll inform you and other media also and public also after our first cabinet session.
All right, all right. I'll have to let you go. You are a busy man at this point in time. But Mr. Pramod Boro, in the near future, are you planning to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah along with Assam government leaders to get a boost to implement the accord in letter and spirit?
Yes, our team will meet Honorable Home Minister of India, who is coming on 26. After that, we will plan to meet Honorable Prime Minister of India, because their blessing will always help us, and we need their blessing. This is a small council, so without blessing of the central and state government, it will be very difficult to run. So definitely we will meet them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Pramod Boro. That was Mr. Pramod Boro, the Chief Executive Member of the Bodoland Territorial Council, who had won the trust vote today as directed by the Guwahati High Court. Remember, viewers, the opposition Bodo People's Front had moved the Guwahati High Court challenging the modalities in which the council was formed, in which Pramod Boro and the deputy and his deputy were sworn in on the 15th. So there were some procedural issues on which the BPF had challenged the council formation, and following which the High Court had ordered for a floor test, and that is what has happened this morning in Kokrajhar at the Bodoland Territorial Council Assembly premises, and the trust vote, of course, was won by the UPPL, BJP, GSP combined. Let me go straight to you, Mr. Raju Narzary, the secretary of the UPPL, the dominant ruling player, and in the Bodo Council. Mr. Raju Narzary, Mr. Pramod Boro expressed surprise that the BPF created a ruckus in the assembly premises this morning, but in the end, the Pramod Boro and his team won the trust vote. The real challenge begins now only, isn't it, Mr. Raju Narzary?
Wasbir, first of all, Merry Christmas to you and all the viewers of the your television channel.
Thank you.
And I was there myself witnessing the assembly proceedings from the audience gallery today. It was very unfortunate to see the BPF MCLA members to conduct in the way they have conducted today. Right from the beginning of the session, they were obstructing the proceedings by the speaker. First, the pro tem speaker was appointed. Immediately after the pro tem speaker's appointment, the MCLAs were given the oaths of the office.
Right.
Even during the taking of oaths session, they have obstructed the business, and for 10 minutes the speaker had to adjourn the house.
Yeah. So these things
right
we have
after
seen
the
that.
adjournment of the motion,
Yeah,
they have
Mr.
gone to the
Narzary.
well of the house.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You were there and you witnessed all of those. We also witnessed all these scenes during the day. But my question to you, Raju Narzary, to begin the discussion, do you agree that the challenge of the UPPL, BJP, GSP alliance, the challenge begins now?
To an extent, I agree with you, Wasbir, but since our leader is very committed, Mr. Pramod Boro, under his leadership, for last 2 decades, he has served the people of this region as a student leader and an activist. So we have full faith on him, and the team is very young and dynamic, and
Right.
the roadmap is already charted out. So I don't think we will face much of a challenge. And as you are aware, that people of this region is not asking much. They are asking very small things, which definitely I think we can fulfill their hopes and aspirations.
All right, I'll come back to you, Raju Narzary. Let me go to you, Mr. K. Wari, the Assistant General Secretary of the All Bodo Students Union, the student group that has lent direct support to the UPPL in the just concluded elections. Mr. K. Wari, Mr. Hagrama Mohilari, the BPF leader, has very categorically said today, after the trust vote, that he will once again move the Guwahati High Court. So, what does it indicate? It gives an impression as if the Bodo People's Front is determined to create obstacles and hamper the proceedings of the new council. That is the impression. We don't know. What do you think?
First of all, I convey my Christmas greetings to you, Wasbir sir, and the entire panelists over the channel.
Thank you
and
so
the
much.
Viewers through your channel. Right now, if we see into the words of Hagrama Mohilari, the BPF president, he asserted himself to be opposing the entire process. Even after his CWC meeting last 2 days back, he has stated that he will go on opposing whatever the UPPL or the Pramod-led government tries to do. So this is his intent. So his intent is not in the right way. So even today, after we have observed the entire scene, that they intended to act very undemocratic way, which is an unwelcome attitude towards the healthy government. They never expected, and it is their way of now. The ultimate option is that they have relied on the judiciary.
Okay.
But we are hopeful that the judiciary will definitely take this matter, because today's the very process is very correctly done, which has been observed by us all
Right.
from the audience gallery. And the entire democratic process has been exercised by the pro tem speaker. And there was a trust vote which has already been taken by the speaker, and the floor has been tested, and the majority has been achieved by the Pramod-led team. So there is no question. So therefore, the Hagrama Mohilari will only go on opposing whatever the present BTR government is trying to do.
All right. All right. We'll have to wait and watch as how things unfold as to whether Hagrama Mohilari and the BPF once again moves the court or not. We'll have to wait and watch. But let me tell, for the record, viewers, let me tell you that we had invited, we had contacted top leaders of the Bodo People's Front to participate in this debate today and give their point of view. But for reasons best known to them, they preferred not to join the program. So that is, I'm telling this just for the record, it's not that we have not invited the BPF, it's not like that. We did invite, but they preferred not to join the program. That is for the record. Let me go to you, Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta. I am also been joined by Mr. Dwijen Sharma, top leader of the Assam Congress. I also have with me Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, the Assam BJP Vice President. Let me go to you, Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta. How do you see the days ahead? Do you think that the trust vote, now that the trust vote is over, now that the Pramod Boro-led team has won the trust vote, do you think there will be stability in the days ahead, or do you think the horse trading efforts will be continuing?
Thank you very much, Wasbir Hussain. Let me wish Merry Christmas to you all and also congratulate Pramod Boro for taking over the responsibility of giving a better governance in Bodo Territorial Council to be converted into Bodo Territorial Region. If you look at the Accord, BTR, what was the prime objective? The prime objective was to bring peace and stability. And the accord was very, very inclusive in nature. This was signed by 4 factions of NDFB, by BTC chief Hagrama Mohilari, and by ABSU president Pramod Boro, apart from others. In other words, it was a very inclusive in nature, and that had given a signal that the kind of conflicts, intra-conflicts, inter-conflicts, which have been taking place in the BTC will come to an end. If we look at from that perspective, I think the beginning has not been very good. The way the conflict has started between ABSU and then UPPL and that of BPF, and that has given a signal the kind of promises made towards bringing inclusivity and towards bringing peace and stability has been challenged now. I think one of the prime responsibilities of prime objectives of the new council or new government will be to bring back that inclusivity. Regarding the role of BPF, I'm a bit critical. There is a transition of power that should be accepted by BPF, because they know that the numbers are there, and that has been done. For example,
Right.
two members from 2 parties have already joined the UPPL BJP alliance. So they shouldn't have had much problems with that.
Okay.
But regarding the vote of confidence, definitely there has been one issue. When you do have a lot of suspicion around, the best way is to go for the secret ballot rather than going for voice vote. I think this has been one of the issues. Probably BPF will be trying to capitalize on it and will be trying to challenge it. But I do not see any kind of possibility of bringing down this government.
Okay.
But it might create a lot of challenges.
Okay.
I think these are some of the issues that will be,
Let me turn
thank you
to
very
you.
much.
Let me go to you, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, joining me from Tezpur today. Okay, that is Mr. Dwijen Sharma, the Congress leader. Mr. Dwijen Sharma, there is an impression as if today the UPPL, BJP and Gana Shakti party, they have won the trust vote. Now, after the trust vote, once again, Mr. Hagrama Mohilari has gone on record to tell the media that he might once again challenge the trust vote procedure adopted in the trust vote. He said that, it should have been secret ballot. But people are getting an impression as if, the BPF is unable to accept the verdict. What is your opinion?
No, you see, the first day of BTR, this, hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
First day for BTR, this newly constituted BTR, is not smooth. We have observed it is not at all smooth. And I have seen a new chapter has been added by BJP in the Assam politics. And that is the reason that the peaceful atmosphere is not there. Peace is topmost priority in BTR area, in my opinion. And every political party should see that peace prevails in BTR area. Because after a long time, after long disturbance, peace has prevailed in BTR area. So that should be looked into first. And this BPF, what has been seen today, they are not even happy today. And they have said that they will go to court again. So the first day of this BT after the election, this confidence vote, it is not small, it is not peaceful. I don't think that it will be smooth in the coming days also.
Okay,
this is my opinion
let me go to either to Mr. Swapnanil Baruah or to Mr. Wari or to Mr. Raju Narzary. Is Mr. Raju Narzary? Okay, Mr. Wari, let's have either Swapnanil Baruah or Raju Narzary constantly. Yes, let me go to Mr. Wari. Mr. Wari, you know, do you get a sense that the UPPL BJP will be able to deliver, where the BPF, you are saying that you are also saying the same thing, the UPPL is saying the same thing, that the BPF had failed, that is the allegation against the BPF, that you have failed to deliver. Now, how would you propose, how would you expect, how would, as a student leader, as an organization that had supported the UPPL, what is your expectation now?
As we have now seen that the party led by UPPL under leadership of Pramod Boro has achieved this moment of forming the government along with BJP and GSP. And from us as a student union, we have entirely seen that they are in a very much possible manner of working out together as a team, and their ambition to get into their activities of the manifestos that they have promised to the people of the BTR region. And there are many developmental projects that they are going to undertake, and they have a lot of plans. And therefore, we are hopeful that definitely they will unitedly form a very good government, and they will strongly defend
Will the ABSU just keep on supporting, or will the ABSU play a constructive, will the ABSU be ready to be a constructive, play constructive critical role, constructive criticism? Will you be indulging in constructive criticism as well?
Definitely, ABSU will not only be a silent supporter and observer, will definitely have a critical observation towards the activities, and therefore, if necessary and when necessary, will definitely take up steps and necessary options of policy interpretations, and then to take up policy research in aspects of the opportunities that will strive on in future, because there are lots of opportunities that will require the interpretation from the critical aspect and point of view.
So let me go to Raju
Narzary.
Let me go to Raju Narzary. Raju Narzary, it is a good thing, isn't it? Although the ABSU is supporting you, ABSU has supported you, it will continue to support you, but ABSU has said that they will also be critically observing the role of the UPPL-led administration, which is actually a good thing. There will be some kind of a watchdog role which the ABSU is planning to play, which is going to improve governance. Do you agree or not?
I fully agree with you, Wasbir. The ABSU should definitely play a role of a watchdog. In case of any mistakes by our government, they should point it out, and they should kind of put forward their views, so that our elected members can correct themselves. And those, as a party, we want to send a very stern message to the members elected the BTC Assembly Council, that any wrongdoings will not be tolerated. And in fact, we also welcome the view that Mr. Hagrama Mohilari has said, that he will play a very strong opposition role in the Council Assembly, which will be very healthy for democracy, and we'll welcome that. And just that for the sake of opposing, they should not oppose. There should be a constructive opposition, take a leadership, give feedback, and support us in governing the BTR, make it corruption-free and pro-people, pro-poor government, so that everybody can participate in the process of governance.
Right. Now, let me once again go to you, Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta. It's a very interesting situation as far as the Bodo heartland this time is concerned. You have the main apex student group, the All Bodo Students Union, which is openly, there is no covert backing, there is an open backing. They have been openly backing the UPPL. Now the UPPL has, is part of the government, as part of the administration in the Bodo Council. They have won the trust vote. Now Pramod Boro has to deliver. Now what the ABSU Assistant General Secretary, the highly articulate Mr. Wari is saying that they will play the role of a watchdog. And Mr. Raju Narzary of the UPPL is saying that's a very good thing, that if the ABSU should play the role of a watchdog and point out things to us if we have made a mistake. So this is a win-win situation for both. This is a very interesting example of working in collaboration.
Yes, definitely, because you need to understand that ABSU has not merged with UPPL, and both are two different entities. Taking into consideration that new promises made by the BTR agreement, also taking into consideration the kind of leadership that would be provided by Pramod Boro, ABSU has come forward and supported this new government. But they will remain an independent entity, and the remaining an independent entity will be for the best interest of the community as a whole, and also for the council to be turned into BTR. Now let us look at what are the important suggestions. As I have already said, that most important challenges will be to bring inclusivity, and towards bringing inclusivity, I think ABSU will have to play a very important role. They need not be biased towards the government. They need not be very biased even towards the BPF, because they will remain an independent entity, and their basic objective, ABSU's basic objective, will be to help to facilitate government, so as to bring about this inclusivity.
Very true. Yeah. Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, but this is unique in the sense that nowhere in the Northeast, the student organization may be indirectly supporting political parties, but this is for the first time anywhere in the Northeast that a leading student group has openly come out in support. There is nothing secret about it. So which is why it is a unique experiment. I think this is something which the student organizations, do you think from now on politics in the Northeast is going to change by taking the ABSU example in the days ahead? Yes. What is your prediction?
Yes. ABSU has already done it. ABSU has already done it in case of Assam Jatiyo Porishod.
But still, the All Assam Students Union has been not as clear, as straightforward as the All Bodo Students Union. We'll come back to you.
I think my understanding is that ABSU has done a very concrete and very, very committed and good thing.
Absolutely. Very concrete example. We'll have to wait and watch whether other student groups will be as open as the All Bodo Students Union in the days ahead. Let me go to you, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, joining me from Tezpur, the Assam BJP Vice President. Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, today the UPPL, BJP, GSP alliance won the trust vote. Then you find the opposition leader, Hagrama Mohilari, once again saying that there were procedural defects and that he said that he will again move the High Court. So what is the sense you are getting? Do you think that the opposition is going to create trouble, not allow the alliance to function smoothly in the days ahead?
I think what has happened in this particular situation, before that, let me wish Merry Christmas to all of you. The fact is that, Hagrama Mohilari is playing a bad loser. I think he shouldn't be sulking. He should know now that constitutionally it has been proven. As per the directives of the High Court, everything has been laid bare on the table. It's absolutely transparent. And so there is no point in continuing like this of not contributing to the democratic process. Democratic process has its winners and losers. The winner of today may be a loser tomorrow. The loser of today may be a winner tomorrow. So in that kind of a situation, I think as per democratic norms, people should come and accept the verdict of the people and the processes that happen in the democratic way of thinking. One thing very nice is that
yes, carry on.
the UPPL has shown that the early bird catches the worm, because there was a hung assembly and they realized that they have to move fast. They moved fast, and BJP also moved fast and seal the coalition before anybody could even think about it. So this is sagacious behavior on part of the young leader Pramod Boro, and I think he is definitely is going to play a big innings ahead.
Now, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, you know, basically now you did not have an alliance with the UPPL during the elections. This is only a post-election alliance, but you might have had a strategic understanding before. Let's not go into that. My question now is, you know, ahead of the 2021 elections, can you give a clear message to the people in the Bodo heartland that this is the combination that is going to work together even in the assembly elections, and that this will be a continuous process of bonding between the BJP, UPPL as well as the Ganashakti party?
Well, Wasbir, the 12 seats of the Bodoland area, BTR area, is very vital in the BJP scheme of things. It is in our 100 plus accounts, and therefore we shall take all necessary steps, including partnership with local partners and coalition partners, to get the 12 seats, or rather retain the 12 seats in our fold.
Okay, that's a very diplomatic answer. I'll come back to you. I'll go for a short break. Don't go away. I'll be right back. And we are in the middle of a very engaging conversation after the trust vote. What now? Now, after that Pramod Boro has won the trust vote, we'll wait and watch. Let's go for a break. I'll be back. Okay, welcome back. Let me go to Kewari once again, joining me from Kokrajhar live. Mr. Kewari, you know, now you see the horse trading. Horse trading, do you think horse trading will continue? On what basis do you think Mr. Hagrama Mohilari said today to newsmen, after losing the trust vote, he said that Sarkar to amiye bonam. He said we will form the government. On what basis is he saying? That means he has given an indication that he will continue his efforts to poach people, to bring in people from the other side and make them join the Bodo People's Front, which have already got 17 members. It's a numbers game. Do you think the horse trading will affect the functioning of the Pramod Boro administration?
After hearing all these words from Mr. Hagrama Mohilari, it seems that he'll never leave any stone unturned. He'll try to turn every stone, and he'll try to purchase even the candidates from the other parties. And this is very ill-motivated intention of Hagrama Mohilari, that knowing his number not sufficient to form the government, and knowing the other number that is with the UPPL and the BJP and
Let's have
GSP,
everybody on the screen. Yeah.
So he is very in the process of challenging the entire might that he has, the money power, the muscle power, and so every intent is clear that he is trying to do a horse trading or whatever he wanted to do. And so this is very indication of ill-motivated intention that he's trying to do so in a democratic process where it's not correct and it's not healthy for the democratic process.
Let me go to Mr. Raju Narzary. Mr. Raju Narzary, you know, the same question I'm asking you. You see, Hagrama Mohilari, after losing the trust vote today, said, Sarkar to amiye bonam. He said that we are going to form the government. Now the point is, he has clearly indicated, it's a challenge. He has clearly indicated that we are not going to allow you to run the council smoothly. We will continue with our efforts at horse trading. So, do you think that is going to hamper the efficient functioning, proper functioning of the Pramod Boro led administration? What is your view? Because you have to be constantly on the alert.
I just want to reassure people of BTR Wasbir that his attempt will not succeed. He does not understand that our people have fought against his corrupt regime, violent authoritative regime for last 17 years. So our MCLs are very strong morally. He has tried every possible steps to get our MCLs on his favor, but he failed. And he should understand that I think that this is a vote for change. So he should accept in a democracy that he has lost the election. He has also lost the trust vote today. Accept the people's verdict and play a role of a constructive opposition.
Very well said. You have to accept the people's verdict, play the role of a constructive opposition. Let me go to Congress leader, Mr. Dwijen Sharma. Mr. Dwijen Sharma, you know, in this just concluded Bodo Council elections, your party managed to win just one seat and you could not retain your member. He had gone and joined the BJP. Now my question is not that. My question is, as an opposition party, do you support what Hagrama Mohilari said today? Hagrama Mohilari said that Sarkar to amiye bonam, we will form the administration, we will form the government. Now, does it not indicate that, I mean, you know, he is not willing to accept the verdict? Of course, he has his point. He is saying that there should have been a secret ballot and so on. That is the argument he is giving. He is saying that we will move the court. But some section of people are interpreting it as if Hagrama Mohilari is not willing to accept the verdict.
No, you see, in my opinion, in a democracy, you have to accept the verdict of the people. That is the democratic process. And Hagrama Mohilari has raised openly today certain things, certain technical points that ballot votes and other things that you have to see what the law says. Our observation was that that election should have been trust vote should have been done as per the verdict of the High Court, Honorable High Court. So that is done, or whether there has been done or not, I don't know. Only Hagrama Mohilari is complaining. So my broad opinion, and that we should accept the verdict of the people, that is the democratic process, and we support that only. And what about, you have said our one member we got, yes, we had earlier alliance with BPF, so Congress was not so strong, I must admit, in that area.
Yeah.
Now, that has not gone. That has been purchased. Our person has been purchased. It is a clear case of horse trading. So this horse trading, I condemn such activities, and I also do not support the confining the elected members of BTR. They have been confined in hotels, one after another hotels, then in other places like Shillong. So these are against the democratic system, democratic process of the land, and we do not support such system.
But for the record,
it has been
for the record, Mr. Dwijen Sharma,
Yes.
just for the record,
Yes.
the Congress party has also been very successfully confining their own MLAs in the past in several states of the country. Your party also did the same thing. I mean, there were a number of occasions.
Not in several states, maybe in one. Because of BJP, they had to do it. Because of BJP's this horse trading system, they had to do it.
Okay, let's have all five panelists on the screen. we can have 5 windows. Let's have all 5 on the screen. Yes, carry on. Yes, Dwijen Sharma.
Yeah, so I do not think that Congress has done. So I do not think that Congress has done it. It was because of BJP we had to do certain things in Karnataka or in some places, but not in every places.
Okay, let's
My
have...
broad principle no, listen to me. I am opposing such activities of horse trading and confining members, elected members. And one should obey the verdict, one should follow the verdict of the people.
I don't know whether Dr. Ranjan Dutta is with us or not, because I cannot see him. Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta will all be, he is a little off air at this point in time. Let me go once again to Mr. Narzary. Mr. Narzary, you know, Mr. Pramod Boro has said that the prime focus will be job creation, prime focus will be implementation of the accord. These are very serious matters, because in a small council with 4 districts, creating jobs like you have promised in your election, you will create 10,000 regular jobs and 5 lakh self-employment opportunities. Now you'll have to implement. So you must be having a roadmap already, and you have to act fast, isn't it? Because when people elect someone, they expect results.
Definitely, Wasbir, we understand our responsibility, and we will solemnly implement the promises that we made. First, the priority is to implement each and every clauses of BTR Accord. Secondly, we have promised land rights for all the communities as per the provision of the law. That is already in the first Executive Council meeting itself. The decision has been taken to give land rights to all the ethnic communities, linguistic communities, religious communities, as per the provisions of existing law. The next question that you have said about the job creations, we are confident that we will definitely be able to create jobs with the institutions that are being kind of proposed to be set up as per the BTR Accord. And there will be a railway coach factory which will be set up soon. And we have worked out actually before putting it in our manifesto, we have worked out that in our BTR region there is a lot of scope because of our natural resources, because of the scope that we are in the international borders, with the interstate borders. We will have a lot of scopes to create jobs for the young people. And we will definitely try and do, we will definitely fulfill the promises that we have made in the manifesto.
Okay. Those are crackers in the background. I think people are celebrating Christmas. I don't know, these are coming from Kokrajhar or, I think this is coming from near where Raju Narzary is located. That is the feeling I get. Yes, Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, you know, now, as Mr. Raju Narzary has said, as you have heard Pramod Boro during this interview to me a short while ago, he said that his focus will be to create jobs, implement the accord, and so on and so forth, economic development, improve education, provide security to everybody, usher in peace so that development can take place. Now, but my point is, for that, he has also said that we are a small council and we will need the blessings of both the central government as well as the state government. Now, since we have got less than 6 months to go for the elections, do you think the BJP government, both at the center and the state, will be under some kind of a restriction to go all out? Because at the end of the day, if the alliance is not declared now, there will be some doubts in the minds of everybody as to who is going to be the BJP's ally. Of course, it is going to be the UPPL. But why is the BJP not saying it? Why is the BJP not making it clear? What do you think?
See, yes, I probably talked about this in earlier episodes in your channel. BJP has been looking at not only the BTR seats, remember, or for that matter, BTC seats. BJP has been looking at the implications of the Bodo votes spread over the state in the ensuing 2021 elections. Even if we say that it was a verdict for UPPL BJP, but look at that BPF registered or the BPF could win the highest number of seats. That means that BPF has tremendous influence in terms of electorates or election outcomes, not only in BTR but also in other parts of the state. Now, therefore, BJP has been very, very strategic. It has been telling that local election is a local election, assembly election will be different from that, and they have therefore not, cut off their alliance with that of BPF. So I think they'll be studying it very minutely. They'll be looking at. They have also already been talking about having surveys around, taking into consideration people's views and all. I think keeping it in mind, because that will not be a council election. Keeping it in mind, the assembly elections, they might keep their option open for alliance both with UPPL and also with BPF.
Okay, that is a very significant statement from Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta. Let me take to both my panelists in Kokrajhar. First, let me go to Mr. Wari. Mr. Wari, do you think you would have been a happy man today if the BJP declares it now itself or sooner than later that UPPL is going to be its alliance partner in 2021? Don't you think that will help remove a lot of confusion, and do you think that will help in running the council's administration in a far more efficient manner than leaving a scope for some kind of doubts?
Wasbir sir, regarding this political decision by the political parties, whether it is BJP or it's UPPL, it won't be healthy from our end as a student union to comment on that. Rather, we'll see into this matter from the end of the UPPL and the BJP that what role they are going to play. And as an ABSU, we have all over in the state of Assam, there is a position that all Bodo Students Union can influence at any level towards the contesting of elections at different constituencies across Assam. So that is a very critical role we can play, but rather in the part of the political decision, it won't be healthy from us to give comments right
Fair
now.
enough. Fair enough. I'll go to you, Mr. Dwijen Sharma, but let me go to once again to Mr. Raju Narzary. Mr. Raju Narzary, the same question goes to you. Would you have been happy? Would the UPPL, do you think the UPPL would have been happy if the BJP announces or says that you are going to be their electoral partner in the 2021 assembly elections? And are you also, little bit doubtful because the BPF ministers are still a part of the Sarbananda Sonowal-led government, or for that matter, the BJP coalition?
It is the decision that has to be taken by BJP leadership. As far as UPPL is concerned, we are very clear that we are going to contest the next assembly election. And as we have partnering now in the BTR Council, it would be good for both UPPL and BJP to partner for even the next MLA elections. And as I have said in the last show that you must remember that the UPPL does not have only influence within the BTR. It has influence across Assam. Let's say take example of even Dispur seat. Even in Guwahati Dispur seat, we will have a lot of influence. There is a lot of tribal votes that we can offer for any party that we are aligning with.
Okay, that's significant. That cannot be ignored. What the UPPL Secretary Raju Narzary making a very significant statement there. He says that since they are a partner in the Bodo Council now, it would be only appropriate to go and fight the elections in 2021 together, because the UPPL or for that matter UPPL does not have influence only in the Bodo heartland, but can influence the voting pattern in areas outside the Bodo Council as well. Let me turn to you, Mr. Dwijen Sharma, once again. Mr. Dwijen Sharma, how are you looking at this fact? UPPL now is an ally of the BJP as far as the Bodo Council area is concerned. While at the state, the 3 Bodoland People's Front ministers continue to remain in the Sonowal cabinet. What is the impression you are getting? How are you viewing this strategy of the BJP?
Now, you have seen the election campaign, what has been done by BJP leader Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, how he criticized Hagrama Mohilari. It is beyond imagination. It is not a value-based politics that people should criticize opposition that way. And everybody has seen the situation, position of Hagrama Mohilari today with BJP. Now, the alliance with UPPL, what they will do, BJP will do, and what the UPPL will do, that is their business. I have nothing to say. Only I want to say that BJP has a plan to always finish the small regional parties, having alliance first, and then they want to finish the small regional parties. That is the example of what has been done to Hagrama Mohilari.
Yes, Dwijen Sharma.
That is an allegation. That is in many places.
That is an allegation which the
many places.
Right, that is an allegation which the BJP has been consistently denying.
Yes, that is an allegation. That is happening. That is happening in BTR election. So I think that UPPL should be cautious about their alliance, with whom they will have alliance. They should be cautious.
They already have an alliance with the BJP.
What has happened to Hagrama Mohilari?
No,
also.
my question was different. My question was. Dwijen Sharma. My question was different. Are you surprised that the BJP has UPPL as its ally in the Bodo areas, whereas they have the BPF as its ally in the state level? That is my simple question.
No. At this, in the same time, they are having BPF is having minister in cabinet, and at the same time they are having UPPL.
That is what. Are you surprised?
Alliance.
Are you
now,
surprised?
UPPL.
Are you surprised?
It is little surprising because yes, it is little surprising because this UPPL and BPR is in loggerhead today. Okay. So they do not support each other.
Let me go to.
So at the same time,
I am running short of time. Let me get a quick last comment from Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta. Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, I'll come to you, but final comments from you, Mr. Kewadi. Final comments from you. Do you think this alliance issue needs to be clinched? As an observer, I know you don't want to make a political comment, but as someone who is closely monitoring, closely involved in the council administration formation, as an independent view, would you have been happy if the alliance issue is clinched once and for all?
As we observe the forthcoming elections of 2021 assembly elections, it is much fair that if the political leaderships take appropriate decisions and in a right time, and definitely in the alliance process, the decision has to come concrete, and therefore it will be much better from our end to look into that entire process will definitely take a good shape under the leadership of the UPPL and BJP or whoever comes into alliance.
All right. Mr. Raju Narzary, final comments. You have to work hard now, but constantly the BPF could be, at work trying to put a spanner. How will you proceed ahead? You must be having already a strategy in mind.
Our focus now will be to install a government free of corruption, free of intimidation, and make it a very pro-poor, pro-people government. And in the Council Assembly, the chaos is being created. Last 17 years, they have not even framed a rule for conducting the business of the House. That is how there is a confusion today in the Assembly. So our focus will be to bring back good governance in the council,
Right.
frame rules and regulations, formulate policies which will be pro-poor of this region.
Pro-poor policies. Final comments from you, Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta. How do you see things unfold in the days ahead?
See, as a social scientist, as a concerned citizen, my concern is to have peace and stability in the region. Bodo community have got a lot of fragmentations from within, and that has created a lot of challenges for them. And for the new government, Pramod Boro-led government, most important task will be to bring inclusivity and also to try its level best so that the fragmentations and the conflict from within they can come over it.
Yeah.
And ABSU has to play a very, very important role in this regard.
Absolutely. Now, as far as the UPPL is concerned, they have already crossed 3 major milestones. One is getting 12 seats in this first elections that it has contested against a very tough opponent, that is the Bodoland People's Front, which has been in power for 17 years in a row. That is the winning 12 seats in their debut election is the first major milestone. The second major milestone is its ability to strike a deal, come into an alliance with the BJP. And the third milestone is winning the trust vote today. And now, of course, from now on, there will be no excuse. The people will be expecting results as is normal. And now, from now on, Pramod Boro and his team has to work hard in implementing their election promises. People are looking up to them. After all, he had been a very, very popular student leader. He had a lot on his shoulders. And at this moment, he has to implement not just the Bodo Accord signed last January in its letter and spirit, but also has to come down to basic things like providing employment to a large number of unemployed youths in the entire Bodo Territorial Council. One hopes that he will be able to meet these challenges that come his way, along with support from the state government and, of course, the center. I thank all my panelists for participating in this engaging discussion and for the viewers for watching the program. Good night and goodbye.